And you best believe these owners are going to be scouring the market for who can reel in the big fish, the biggest fish of them all, Caitlin Clark. Take a look here. This is crazy. It is going down, y'all. It's going down like Young Jock. I keep trying to tell you. Sparks agreed to part ways with general manager Reagan Pebley. The LA Sparks have agreed to part ways with general manager effective today.
At the highest financial level, the whole professional sports industry has collapsed, including the WNBA's $1 billion. After what many refer to as the largest business league in sports history, the system is now totally out of control. What was a top-secret, multi-million-dollar operation that was planned behind closed doors has now surpassed all league non-disclosure agreements, exposing a significant shift that has put an end to the previous. Indiana Fever's power balance. We are presenting the official documentation of a $50 million covert contract tonight. The Los Angeles Sparks' rich owners made the offer. This massive financial maneuver has totally USC head coach Stephanie White's problematic leadership. TV networks and team executives spent months made a great effort to conceal the escalating issues within the Indiana organization, but all has now been revealed. While a live television program is on, Clark has finally formally and legally acknowledged the historic deal from the West Coast, sparking an instant team uprising that resulted in her former coaching. Employees are in a state of total career terror. The previous managerial deception and manipulation system has been totally destroyed. Under intense public scrutiny, the league's legal and compliance framework is collapsing. And the final countdown to the Fever's organizational reputation being totally destroyed has formally attained zero. To comprehend why Caitlin made the best and safest choice by making this incredible $50 million relocation. Due of Clark's illustrious career, people everywhere must first confront the unpleasant reality of the ongoing professional. She had to deal with betrayal within the Indiana organization. Over the course of the preceding seasons, the team's leadership continued to develop premeditated tactics intended to prevent the once-in-a-generation star's worth and impact on the game. Stephanie White, the head coach, used a risky and conceited approach. That included deliberate late-game isolation tactics, scheduled bench rotations, and passive-aggressive remarks during press briefings, all in an effort to preserve the comfort and standing of the established, those in authority.
More than they have leaned into her and built a team to play around her. They've spent 2 off seasons building a team to play without Caitlin Clark. It's clear as day. It's very simple, and I think the writing is pretty much already on the wall. At the end of the season, Kelsey Mitchell contract is up. Caitlin Clark is up for the Epic. Whatever. The Indiana Fever are going to be forced to pick a direction. They're either going to choose Kelsey Mitchell and Stephanie White, or they are going to choose Caitlin Clark. And I include Stephanie White in that because Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark, philosophically, they just don't see basketball from the same lens. It's that simple. I don't believe that they hate each other off the floor. I just don't think that on the floor, it's a good mix. I think they just see the game through 2 different lenses. And we have been yearning and calling for Stephanie White to actually stand up for, represent, and be front and center for Caitlin Clark. And she's refused to do it at every turn outside of a 30-second clip post the Alyssa Thomas situation in which she backtracked on everything she said and made Alyssa Thomas the victim when her superstar point guard was the victim. It just makes no sense how Stephanie White has gone about this. And you see the things that LA Sparks doing. You got Cameron Brink, who's friends with Caitlin Clark. You got Kate Money Martin.
Clark's own coaching staff responded to every significant milestone and unprecedented accomplishment with icy silence. Deep jealousy and a poisonous culture within the team's leadership continued to place the front office's own control. Prior to becoming the world's greatest squad, the coaching staff genuinely thought they could continue to harm the sport's greatest earner without ever having to deal with any financial repercussions. However, by creating a top-notch locker, stepping into an environment rife with internal strife and leadership disputes, the Fever's management concluded ensuring their own catastrophic demise, forcing the most crucial member of their team into the welcoming embrace of a combative Los Angeles ownership group that had been anticipating the ideal opportunity to act the instant the Sparks ownership group's confidential financial plans were transmitted via secondary digital platforms.
Now, I want to get into the new ownership before I even get to what Coach had to say. Okay, now this new ownership group came in and they are looking to make major moves. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Now, this is Ramona Shelburne. Okay, a longtime sports writer for ESPN Los Angeles. Okay, now Ramona Shelburne said this. Okay, Sparks ownership, the Walter Group, has been much more involved with the franchise this season, just as they have with the Lakers. From what I understand, this is more of an organizational shift than anything specific. An organizational shift.
There was an immediate shock to the whole professional basketball leadership structure. Los Angeles's leaders did not merely submit a standard trade offer, they executed a brutal and well-thought-out business strategy that was intended to exploit the escalating issues inside the Fever organization, supported by enormous sums of money. The Sparks struck an amazing $50 million long-term agreement with investors from all over the world. Unique sponsorship deals and long-term ownership advantages that went well beyond the typical luxury tax caps. The West Coast squad made this significant decision specifically to provide Caitlin Clark with full professional protection from the toxic leadership issues she had been facing in Indiana.
Coaching and the team and Atlanta. So obviously, I found out this morning, Reagan's a friend of mine and I care about her. And this is the hard part in sports, right? But right now I'm just, focused on the team.
Sense of urgency kind of heightened, or has it already been kind of there already?
Like, what do you mean?
The sense of urgency of like.
I mean, we've had the sense of urgency all season. We've had just peaks and valleys with how we've played and who we've had active and injured and stuff. But I feel like we're playing
now. Lynn Roberts, she understands the pressure is on her as a coach because there's no guarantee that you're gonna like make it. There's no guarantee that this ownership group is gonna keep you around. The ownership group may be scouring around for a coach that already has a great relationship with Caitlin Clark. They're gonna be looking to make a partnership. And I think, listen, man, things are happening behind the scenes. I 100% believe things are happening, and there's a chance that this thing could take a turn.
Inside the company, there is total fear following the announcement that Clark accepted this historic offer. Boardrooms, compelling large TV sponsors to promptly halt their local Midwest marketing expenditures upon realizing that the greatest TV personality in history has formally arranged her long-term departure from their corrupt system. The head coach is now personally responsible for the enormous harm created by this financial rebellion. Stephanie White, whose internet reputation has been totally ruined worldwide. The cozy conviction that she was in total control has abruptly transformed into a terrifying career nightmare as she must now confront the reality that her own disgruntled celebrity has outperformed her. Emergency board meetings are confirmed by confidential information from the secure Indiana facility are currently taking place on a daily basis, with significant shareholders calling for prompt responsibility from the leadership. White's career is now completely paralyzed. The athletes who remain in the locker room have utterly rejected her power. Her public persona has dramatically diminished, and significant investors are publicly calling for her urgent dismissal. Before a complete financial boycott spearheaded by fans affects the entire brand, the protection of the team's public image has vanished entirely. Millions of irate people are laughing at the typical well-crafted damage control claims. Fans on the internet. Additionally, the last countdown to a thorough leadership cleansing is currently taking place in real time on television, with Caitlin Clark formally assuming the multi-million-dollar spotlight of the Los Angeles Sparks. Nothing can return to the state of contemporary sporting entertainment. The previous state of affairs. This isn't just a typical player transfer anymore. This is a complete financial and cultural revolution that demonstrates once-in-a-generation brilliance won't be ensnared by corrupt and envious leaders. Administration.
If we don't have those, it's not going to be good, but we have the talent needed, even with KP out, even with Cam out, to be more competitive than that.
Yeah. During this stretch, talk to me about just the decision today to just like practice and just say, we're just going to watch film. If you want to shoot a little bit, you can shoot a little bit, but not even really do too much on court and just say, like, this is what we got to do. Here it is. Let's go do it.
And that's the reality at this point in the season, too. Like, we don't need to go through our plays right now today and wear them down physically. It's mentally having the focus and the intensity needed to execute. It's that simple. Now, it's hard to do, but it's I'm not saying it's simple to do, but it's a simple fix. Like that's what it is. Being in the right coverages, whatever it is, offensively being where we need to be. Like, do your job, all of us.
With Kelsey Plum and Brink out, you need more than just the starter. You're always going to need more than starters, but in particular, you're definitely going to need more from the bench. This last game, you played everybody, right? And everybody had a decent amount of minutes. What do you want to see from when you mix in players like Kate Martin and, maybe Peely this week and Kiana Williams and just Emma Cannon? She got some quality time. Park, like whoever it is, like what do you want to see from these bench players when they're kind of in the mix with the starters to kind of just keep it going?
Well, they got to bring life off the bench, play with some confidence. And again, it's player 1 through every DB player. Like, execute what we're supposed to be doing. Be focused, be in the moment. Don't be thinking about the shot you missed or the foul you didn't get or the turnover you had or the fact that your player just scored. Like, next play mentality. It takes a level of toughness mentally. That's what I need from everybody.
With this stretch, have you considered going to more of a hockey substitution? I noticed there are a couple teams in the league, they just be popping players out there. And I looked at, like, for example, I looked at the Valkyries the other day, and like even the minutes, they look like an AAU team. The minutes, it's just.
By securing an incredible $50 million agreement and creating her own future on the West Coast, Clark has not only safeguarded her remarkable career, but she has also produced the ideal illustration of how athletes can take charge of their own future globally, while those who deceived her are now forced to face the total failure of their own strategies. Now that the hunters are being hunted, the last commercial confrontation is taking place in a terrifying precision. Will Indiana's remaining leaders decide to resign on their own before to their $1 billion? Will this unprecedented fan-led uprising be the catalyst for the removal of corrupt management, or will the brand lose all of its value? From the whole world of sports for all time, there is one thing that is certain: individuals worldwide are currently keeping a careful eye on every company choice made going forward. Don't forget to click subscribe button and enable alerts immediately, as this multi-million-dollar conflict has reached its peak moment yet, and everything is about to change irrevocably with the next big event.